What's up, guys? This is Jordan from Redemption, and I'm coming at you with a new series called the Deck Builder series. In this series, I want to cover some things that will teach you guys maybe how to make good decks, how to make better decks, how not to make bad decks. And first I want to cover, first thing is glue, because glue is a very important variable in deck making, you might think. But today I want to show you how it might not be as important as you think. Like when I first started, and I've been making decks for 5 years now. So for the first few years I was like, always trying to search for the perfect secret glue. And what I realized is there's no secrets. It's more about preference, which glue you like to use. There's many different types of glues that are available, and what's available to me is also available to you and the top companies, you know. There's not some secret glue in some secret lab that they're holding from us. So just to clear that up. So once I realized that, I kind of was like, okay, I'll use the glue that best fits my situation. So, and I'm not completely happy with it, but I find what works best for me. So, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna cover glue. We're gonna start off with wood glue. Wood glue is also called PVA glue, and like Titebond has Titebond 1, 2, and 3. 3 being the most weatherproof. It'll resist water the best, and it's a bit stronger than Titebond 2 or 1. So this is a good glue to start off with, and usually when you start deck making, you just grab this. It's cheap, it works, makes decks with great pop. It's easy to work with, and it's really nice. You can make decks very quickly and without wearing gloves. Like some of the other glues, you have to wear gloves, and that can be a pain in the butt, and they're messy, and the cleanup sucks. So I'd recommend you guys starting off with a glue like this to start with. And the bad thing about wood glue is that it takes a long time to dry. So unless you got the time, I wouldn't bother with it. But if you got plenty of time to let decks dry, then go for it. You make great decks. It's cheap. Wood glue is very cheap. You can buy a whole gallon for $25-30. That's the expensive stuff. So the cheaper stuff like Titebond 1 or the Carpenter wood glue, the Elmer's glue, you can buy that for like 10 or 15. It's real cheap. So they just have their drying problems, but everything else is great about this glue. It sands off excellent, and pretty good glue to use. Next thing is polyurethane glues. Now these are your more expensive messy glues, and I got Gorilla Glue right here, and then Elmer's Glue All Max. They pretty much bond all different types of materials, metal, stone, wood, and more. And they are totally waterproof. You could dip a deck in water for a couple hours, take it out, and it will still be together. If you tried that with these glues, these wood glues, it would completely fall apart. I've tested it. It's funny. You no longer have fingerboards. You have your plies back. So that's a cool thing about this glue. And you can make metal bottom decks and other special plied decks other than wood, because it will bond anything. The problem with the polyurethane glue is that it's very messy, and it's expensive. I mean, if you can deal with those things, it's worth it. But You gotta wear like gloves when you're using it, or else you won't be able to fingerboard. It's crazy how nasty this stuff can be, but it does a pretty good job. So just like this, they both do good jobs. Next thing is this is a new glue, came out a year or two ago, and it's Elmer's Pro Bond Advanced. Has some of the same features as these glues. It glues like the polyurethane glue. It will bond multiple surface, anything pretty much. And so it'll glue all of the things like this, but it feels more like your regular wood glue. It's not messy, non-toxic, but it's waterproof like the polyurethanes. So it's really kind of cool to work with. Best of both worlds. This does take a bit to dry, so you gotta deal with that. But other than that, it's great glue. And then you got your epoxies over here, your A side and your B side. Epoxy is nice and strong. The only drawback is it's expensive and it possibly harmful to your health. I mean, it's pretty expensive. So, but it's a good glue, and you will be positive that your deck will cure in whatever time it tells you, 8 or 24 hours. It's going to be totally done. You don't have to worry about it like you do with the Titebond. So this is a good glue. Epoxy is to ensure your decks aren't warped, your decks come out right. It's also a little messy, very messy, so you gotta wear gloves. And what else? The fumes, they're harmful for you, so you gotta use it in an open area. And then sanding the decks once they're done can be a issue because all that dust and crap, that's not good for you anyways. But epoxy is just not great, so you want to wear safety glasses and a respirator so you don't get that crap in your lungs. But it's a great glue too. I've tried all these. They're cool. They're fun to test out different ones and see how they all work. The interesting thing is there was a comparison test done by, I think it was Wood Magazine. I'll have the description and the link in the below. I'll link you to the comparison. But you might think epoxy is the strongest because that's what everybody thinks. But actually, according to that comparison and the testing they did at this university, Titebond 3, the PVA 1, Type 1 PVA is actually the strongest glue. And then slow setting epoxy came in number 2, and then polyurethane came in last. Now, there wasn't too much of a difference between the strength, but it was almost significant. So the cheapest glue is actually the strongest. And I'll have that link below for you guys to check out that. Do your research. It's interesting stuff. So, okay, this wraps up our first installment of the series on glue and on deck making. So, yeah, pick your glue, test a bunch of glues, pick out which one you like to work with best, and that's it. I mean, they'll all deliver great decks with great pop. So, yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you have any more questions and any topics you want me to cover, please comment in the section below. And please subscribe to Redemption FB, like us, and also check out our Facebook page, Redemption Fingerboards. And thanks, guys, for the support. Peace.